Hey! All right, so on Instagram, I asked you guys to ask me some questions, and so we're doing it again. This time we're gonna be answering your questions from Instagram, and they got some good ones in here. Looking forward to answering these questions, and let's get right into it. All right, so the first good question comes from, look at my phone here, 1112 Herping. How big should a baby cooter be in its first year? That depends on a lot of factors. Cooters, Sudemis as a group, they can grow really fast. It depends on the amount of food and what type of food. If you're feeding a lot of greens and natural foods like I do, within the first year, you're looking at maybe, 2 inches is about fair. But some people are getting much larger growth than that, feeding unnatural things Speaking of cooters, I've got all these guys. They're all right at my feet. So feeding a high protein diet, there's even guys feeding, different types of high quality cat foods that are producing huge amounts of growth in their cooters, but it's not really natural growth. It's not really what you're gonna see in like a wild turtle. So it's gonna depend on so many factors, man. I wish I could give you one good solid answer. So depending on, if you're feeding a diet that's about down the middle, so if you're feeding, pellets, whether it's Missouri, Zoomed, one of those, and then mixing it with some natural greens and vegetables, within a year, your turtle should be, I would call it about 1 to 2 inches, possibly as much as 4 inches. I have to make sure they don't bite my toes. So yeah, not every turtle in a clutch of eggs is going to grow at the same rate as its siblings. I've got turtles that are full adults now, and that, there's siblings of them that are still only about 5 or 6 inches. So you do have like what they call runts, and then you have some that are going to grow faster. So I would say, to give you a good answer, could be as low as 2 inches in a year, could be as high as 4 inches in a year. Anything beyond 4 inches is going to be kind of weird, unnatural growth. And I just tend to stay away from unnatural fast growth because they're not really meant for that. So I hope that answers that question. All right, next one is from Colonian.Carter. He always has good questions when I do these, so I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Most unexpected turtle herping find. I think I've answered this before, but it was a couple years ago in Alabama. I came across a hybrid between a Eastern River cooter and I believe a northern map turtle. There's also Alabama map turtles in this location, and at the time I had found a bunch of little cooters kind of in a creek, and then in a spot where I found 2 cooters, right next to them was one that looked a little different, but I just figured it was different coloration. So when I was shooting some photos, I realized, like, when it stuck its head out, I was like, oh, whoa, that's definitely not a cooter head. But then I look at the carapace, and I'm like, oh, it's not a map turtle shell. So I kind of went back and forth, shot some photos, and then when I was able to look at the photos, like high resolution on the screen, I was able to see things that, this wasn't a cooter jawline, it was a map turtle jawline, but then it was cooter eyes, and the characteristics were so similar. So that was an unexpected find. Sometimes it's more like finding things in locations you don't expect to find things. That happens. But that's kind of my best answer would probably be the hybrid map turtle. And then beyond that, just things in weird places. You're asking me to recap about 30 years of herping, so I'm a little foggy on some of it. All right, 98 Till Infinity. I like that. Is that a song or an album? Do I let my Razorback overwinter outside? I do. So all my musk turtles that are native U.S. turtles, they all stay outside year-round. My Razorback musk turtle right now is in the aquascape pond. Before, it was in this pond in front of me, and it is overwintered outside. Fantastic. Razorback musk turtles do really well. They're pretty cold hardy. If you were like really far north, like Maine or Canada or something, I wouldn't do it with a Razorback just to be safe. But they're really good at seeking out areas where the water's a bit warmer, where the water has a lot more oxygen in it. So they're really able to kind of figure out good ways to get through winter. And then honestly, the Razorback had more winter activity than my loggerheads and my stink pots. I was really surprised. It was the first musk turtle I would see active, during the winter if we had like a sunny day or something. So I'm really impressed with their cold tolerance, and I think they're just an amazing musk turtle. And they're readily available. You guys always message me asking me for what musk turtle to get, where to get loggerheads, where to get, whatever. Don't overlook the Razorbacks, man. They're really good and they're really available. It shouldn't be hard to find some Captain Bred Razorbacks. I recommend them 100%. Okay, this is a good question right here. This is from Rich Scenes. I don't know. Are you from France? Best way to start field herping. Dude, this guy. You trying to get my toes? I'm gonna have to move in a minute. Best way to start field herping. Just go out with your friends, go out with your family. Just go find whether it's a wildlife management area, even a park. Just go around a park. Growing up in Florida, all the parks have like big ponds and lakes and stuff, and you can just walk the edges of those and look in the vegetation, and you'll get to see small turtles, little water snakes, all kinds of things. If you're up north, just go walk a trail, do some hiking. As soon as you're outside and you're looking for reptiles, you're herping. It's that easy. You don't have to be all geared up with snake hooks and all that stuff. Eventually that'll happen, and you'll end up doing that. But in the beginning, just get outside and just start looking. Even if you're in your backyard and you're flipping stuff over and looking for things, you're herping. So it's just that simple. Anybody can do it. This is a good one. This is not really animal related. From Rand the Russian Tortoise _ and that is he asks, what is my favorite sandwich? I don't know, man. I really try not to eat a whole lot of bread. But when I do, I don't know, man. I have a few weaknesses. I like PBJs, and just between you and me, I had a grilled cheese today, so that's like 1,000 calories or something. But I like grilled cheese, man. I'm simple when it comes to sandwiches. I don't go too far. But yeah, so I don't know. I hope grilled cheese and PBJ is good answers for you, man. All right, Ace Trainer Zach. Zach's cool. He's got a YouTube channel. I recommend you guys look up his YouTube channel. I'm gonna put a link to it right up here. He goes out and he does herping and films educational videos. Zach's pretty tight. And he asks, what is my favorite painted turtle species? And that is a tough one. I grew up catching eastern painted turtles here in Georgia. I have family in Kentucky. I had a video where I went in Kentucky with my nephew and we caught Midland painted turtles. I like those a lot. Very similar to like an eastern, little subtle differences. When I was a kid in Florida, the pet stores had a lot of westerns. I love the belly pattern on the westerns and the color they get. Some of them have bright green shells, which is kind of different. And then recently, Charlie Moorcroft donated some southern painted turtles, a pair of adults, and I'm over the moon about those. So because they're new, I'm trying hard not to say that they're my favorite, because it would be really easy to just be like, oh yeah, southern painteds, I just got some, but I do, it's toss up between eastern and southerns, man. When I look at the southerns, it's every characteristic I like about painted turtles in a slightly smaller body, which is good. It's easy to keep smaller turtles, plus that racing stripe, and just cool. I have to say southerns. Don't tell my easterns, but I think I like the southerns the best. And I got to see them in their habitat in Mississippi, and that was super cool. All right, Jack's World of Wildlife. Jack is cool. He also has a YouTube channel, does a lot of educational work, goes herping, shares a lot of cool stuff. So check out Jack on YouTube. Cool guy. Let's see. His question is, what species of turtle that I haven't worked with is high on my list to work with? And people ask me this one a lot. I think there's a lot of people trying to see if I'm going to say fly river turtle or something along those lines. I've worked with a lot of stuff over the years, and I've learned, when you work with a lot of different things, you learn what works for you, what doesn't work for you. And I've definitely learned over the years that there are certain things that are definitely better left to other people that are more specialized, or maybe live in a climate that's more, well adapted to those things. For me personally, taking in where I live and my lifestyle, I would really like to work with radiated tortoises. I really want an Aldabra tortoise. I love them. I love seeing them, and any chance I get to interact with them, I love them. I love going to Kennan's and petting Nostradamus and getting to hang out with him and just staring at his perfect shell. But it's pretty cost prohibitive. I can't afford an Aldabra tortoise, and a radiated tortoise isn't much cheaper, but a radiated tortoise doesn't get as big. They're kind of like a mini Aldabra that doesn't get as big, that's easier to house, and then they can be quite beautiful. Personally, I'd like to have a really dark radiated tortoise. I think that'd be kind of cool to have something a little bit different, but I really like to work with radiated tortoises. And then maybe sometime in the future, since I work with QandA, I'd like to also work with like the yellow-headed temple turtles. I'd really love the chance to work with those guys. Similar care. Asian leaf turtles fascinate me. I would like to have an entire Asian-only setup where I could put Hyosemis grandis and leaf turtles and all that stuff together. I don't know. It's easy to sit and kind of ponder things that you're not doing because you don't really know about it. But yeah, number one, I would have to say either radiated or Aldabra. So hope that answers your question, man. Jamie Garzo, she asks, what did I do before you were all fire emoji YouTube? I don't know. What did I do before YouTube? I mean, my backyard looked like this. I was keeping all this stuff like this. Before YouTube, I was same guy I am now. I mean, I'm not making money off of YouTube. I'm not like, you know, I'm not Blake's Exotic Animal Ranch or Chandler or any of these guys who are just absolutely killing it and making money and able to fund everything they do, you know, because you know, I'm just not there, you know. So I'm a wedding photographer. I shoot photos and videos for weddings. I'll also do other, you know, photo and video jobs as they come up. I'm kind of freelance, and I just kind of live a simple life. So before YouTube, it was pretty much the same thing. A lot of skateboarding. For a few years, I had like my own skateboard company, and me and my friends would travel around skating a lot. I really enjoyed that. And those are like some of the best days of my life is going out with those guys and doing that, and then being able to come home at the end of the day and relax and hang out with my animals. So that's what I did before YouTube. And for the most part, I still kind of do some of that stuff. A lot of my friends don't skate like they used to, and now it's mostly me rolling out solo. But I just try to keep it simple and try to keep it mellow and stay happy. So hope that's good. All right, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate all your questions. We'll do it again next month. I always love doing these. I always love the questions that you guys have. And yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure to subscribe. I know there's a lot of you guys out there that watch these videos that are not subscribed. Please subscribe. It helps me get these videos out there. It helps me make more videos like these. Also, look into my Patreon if you want to get more content. I actually just got an email saying that Patreon is going to allow me to do video uploads now. So I'm going to start uploading some videos directly onto Patreon only. And if you want any questions answered, you can also reach out to me through Patreon. So that's my little Patreon commercial, and I'll let you guys go. All right, so I appreciate you. Take care. Peace.